Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. You all know what we're going to be talking about. Now, ladies and gentlemen, over the years, we've been hearing a lot of mixed messages. Some people say, yeah, we're from here. And then you got the other ones. We didn't come from here. We all came on slave ships, which I never fully believed. First of all, these folks ain't that damn smart, and they're not smart enough to bring millions and millions over here. I find that hard to believe. And I still don't believe that. Being that we were the first on the planet, quite naturally, we navigated everywhere, including America. We would have been everywhere, and we were. We would be everywhere before the people that claim we all came from Africa. We would have been everywhere long before they navigated the earth. So I don't know. I just didn't fully buy that we all came from Africa. And then on the other hand, you're telling me we were the first on the earth. Well, then that doesn't make sense that we would all just be piled up in one place the entire time. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So now we got one of the, the quote unquote natives. And y'all know when I was little, I thought they were Asians. And come to find out, they're Asians. But you just look at their eyes. And I was like, they look Asian to me. And yeah, well, this is what's coming out. They're East Asians. And they are your Native Americans in America. So let me kind of set the stage. This is a guy that came onto TikTok, and you'll see he's your typical looking, mulatto looking, as far as I'm concerned, Native American. And he said all of the history has been taught wrong. When they came into the land, it was all black here in America. They stole the land from us, and then the white people came behind them and stole the land from them, which kind of makes sense because when you look at the massacres, there's actual photos of the Indians massacred, and they look like him. So that's what he is saying. They stole it first, and then the white people came and stole it from them. But at the end of the day, they all stole our identity. All of them stole our identity. All of them stole our traditions, stole our land, our homes, stole our identity, and stripped us of everything and put us at the bottom and been fighting to keep us down at the bottom ever since. So let me go ahead and share my screen so y'all can hear this for yourself. Let's see here. All right, hold on. I do have the... Yep, here it is. All right, hold on, y'all. I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay, everybody. Can you all see my screen? Can you see my screen? But, at the end of the day, they all are the enemy. They are. They're all the enemy. So, and obviously, we had a land that was so great that everybody wanted and fought over it, didn't they? Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for giving me the ones.
All a lie. Everything we've been taught in the American education system is all a lie. Yes, Native Americans weren't the original people of this land. We actually took it from black people. We were so good at it that we just wiped out any trace of their language and their culture.
Now, isn't that what happened to us? Now, that's all. It cut off there, y'all, not because I cut it off. It's because it was cut off on TikTok. So let me play it one more time. Yes, it was Turtle Island. Yes. And we know because let me tell you something. When my family moved to New Jersey, I found out New Jersey at one point in time, y'all, was all black. Everybody that lived in this state back in the early days, pre-Columbus, this state, New Jersey, was all black. And so I'm like, wait a minute, how can this state be all black? Then what about all the others? Well, all the other ones were too. And when you go look at the language that was spoken, the language was Hebrew here in New Jersey. The language was Hebrew that was spoken. So I kind of believe what he's saying. It's making sense. So it would mean that we were invaded more than once. The way the history is told, it makes it seem like the only one that invaded were white people. But he's saying, no, 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 they did it before white people did. So let me play it one more time.
All a lie. Everything we've been taught in the American education system is all a lie. Yes, Native Americans weren't the original people of this land. We actually took it from black people. We were so good at it that we just wiped out any trace of their language and their culture.
Okay, so you heard what he said. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I had went out last night to see what they were. If they are not natives, then what are they? And it said, if you look up the Native Americans are actually East Asians. And I'm sorry, that's what he looks like. That's what he looks like. It says they are East Asians. Now, if they don't look like that to you, then hey, put a 2 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if they don't look like that to you. They sure look like that to me. They've been looking that way, like I said, since childhood. When I first seen pictures of the natives back when I was a school child, and I used to wonder why they look so Asian. Okay. But hey, you may not agree. You may think they don't look that way. They sure look that way to me. Yeah, they're definitely a mixture because over time people did crossbreed with each other. So, yeah, but I still see it in their eyes. I still see it. Maybe you don't, but I sure still see it. So, he's letting you know, and if that's the case, then these folks that are out here on these reservations, they're not original at all, and they were never entitled to reparations. How do you get reparations in stolen land and you took part in the theft? Then there should never have been reparations given to them at all. Yeah, at the end of the day, they would be classified as Caucasian. You're right, Dark Goddess. Exactly. Mhm. But if you go online and say the origins of Native Americans, it'll tell you East Asia. But as far as lying about the history, I always knew they were lying about the history. Even when I was a child, part of me knew what I was hearing was not the truth. It's just, I guess it's a spiritual thing. Your spirit knows you're being lied to, you know? You just know. But yeah, they would look the way that he does because of all the interbreeding that took place over time. Yeah, right. Attila the Hun, Moab. Yeah. There's a Moab, Utah. I don't know if any of you ever checked that out. There is a Moab, Utah. Yeah, he's a $5 Indian too. Yeah. Yeah, I mean all of these folks out on these reservations, they're $5 Indians too. Absolutely, they are. Yeah, they took our identity. And it started with them. And then these white people that are running around here talking about they're native and got this blood and that blood and they're native. They're $5 Indians too. They're all $5 Indians at the end of the day, because if they took the land from the true indigenous people, which was our people, then all of them are frauds. Every last one of them are frauds. And it sure, yes. Um, You're right about the slavery. It changes everything. Why would you need to bring all of the people from Africa when you already had Hebrews that were melanated in the land? It wouldn't have been no need to make those kind of trips back and forth to Africa. You would have enslaved the people right here in the land. Exactly. You would have gotten the people right here in the land, y'all. There wouldn't be no need to make X amount of trips back and forth to Africa. It wouldn't have made sense to do that. It would have made more sense that they grabbed the people all around them. Because just think, you would have already, our forefathers would have already been a defeated people from the first invasion, which were the people that looked like him. And then when the second invasion came, those white folks came over here from Europe. That was a second invasion. It would have made sense for them just to grab up the melanated people that were all around them. So, this Africa stuff, I mean, I think some did come over from there, but the bulk of the slaves were from here. They were indigenous to this land right here. Oh, yeah, they stole, and he admitted they took everything from us. They took everything we had away from us, including our identity, our language, our culture, everything. They stole it. Yeah, I mean, even those Eskimos, they're frauds too. Those Alaskan natives, they're frauds too. So everybody is, playing a game of fraud up in here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some no, yeah, some of them absolutely, because I was reading how down in the island, some of the people that were enslaved there were from the Congo. All right. So yeah, so if they were from the Congo, yeah, they had to bring some of those Africans to the Western Hemisphere, but the stories are greatly exaggerated. They want us to believe we're all Hamites, and every one of us came, our forefathers came over here from Africa. We were never indigenous to the land. And, we always know, look, the people that enslave you, that's all they do is lie. They're never going to tell the truth. Why would they tell the truth now? Mm hmm. Mm hmm. But, look, Think about this. This is the way it is all over the earth. You got the non-indigenous people claiming to be indigenous. It's the same way over in Africa. Look at Egypt. You got all them Arabs in there that are walking around claiming they are the real true Egyptians, but we see all the melanated people on the Egyptian wall. But if you talk to any of them Arabs that live there today, they're going to tell you they put those pyramids there and they were the original people of the land. This is going on all over the earth. It's going on all over the earth. Mm-hmm. Oh, trust me, when the world finally realize who we are, many of them on this earth already know. But when it is really all out in the open, watch how many from these same groups that stole our identity are going to claim, well, I got a black grandmother. I got a black great great grandfather. Oh, I got a black. Yeah, watch. They're going to find every single black family member in their family tree all of a sudden. Well, but see, we don't want $5 Hebrews. We don't want $5 Hebrews. There ain't gonna be no Dawes roll for you to go on and claim you're us. Ain't none of that gonna be happening. Okay, none of that's gonna happen. But y'all, it makes sense. Remember, Shem was given the land that had seasons. America got seasons. So how could it not be ours? He got the land with seasons. America got seasons. That's why I always scratch my head when people say this ain't our land. It got seasons, don't it? It didn't say Ham gets the land with seasons. That wouldn't even make any sense. Africa does not have seasons like we do here in America. They don't have that. And even in America, it depends on the state. Now, places like Nevada and Arizona, they got 2 seasons. Every place don't in this country don't have 4 seasons. Now, up here in the Northeast, we have 4 seasons. But when you get to places like Texas, Nevada, Arizona, California, they don't have 4 seasons. They may have 2 seasons. Florida is another place, 2 seasons. And then, we got the Midwest and the Northeast and places like Chicago and stuff. You got 4 seasons. So how could this be the land that belongs to Ham? No, Ham would be in the land that really don't have seasons like that because that's what it says in the word. That's what it says in the word, right? So why would it all of a sudden be different? Yeah, see, the lands that got seasons are the richest lands, and you can see how it would happen. Look, when the leaves fall, those leaves add all kinds of nutrients into the soil. When the flowers wither away and all that stuff that's left behind, even dried, it's adding a lot of nutrients into the ground. So these lands, you don't have a lot of trouble growing things. I mean, I'm not talking about the weather. Of course, you're going to have hurricanes may rip up crops and stuff. Yeah, those things are going to happen. But for the most part, as long as there's no long drought going on, you can grow on these lands quite easily. Utah, but y'all look up Utah, Moab, Utah, because that's a place that our people used to be in as well. And there's a bunch of Mount Ephraims right here where I live in New Jersey. We got a Mount Ephraim, New Jersey, and it's one of the oldest towns in this state, Mount Ephraim. And if you go through the town and look at the houses, they're all really old homes and people still live over there and everything. But you can tell when you go through there, it's an old place. It's been around for a long time. I used to live in Atco, Zara. I used to live in Atco. I lived over in Woodstream, where the newer houses are. I lived over there. You live in Atco, you know exactly where that is. Mhm. Mhm. And Philly is another one of those old places too. Remember that's where Betsy Ross and Ben Franklin and all of them over there, William Penn, all of them lived over there in Philly. I mean, that area is old too. It's been around for a very long time. I used to live right there in Woodstream, but I haven't been there. I left out of there like around 2015. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so this is real interesting, but we're in that time. Remember what I was telling y'all, we're in the age of Aquarius. So we're in the age and time on the earth where a lot of things are going to be revealed to us. And you look at all the stuff that has come out, and we're still what, in February? Yeah. But you know what, y'all? Just think of it this way. This earth is going to go back to the way it once was. This captivity we're in is going to be over, and this earth is going to go right back to the way it was. So if America was an all black nation, which this man that is classified as Native American, which we know he's not, but he's classified that way, he said it was all black when they showed up. So guess what? It's going to go right back to where it was before. Yeah, Audrey Elliott, all of the places that's called Salem, Salem is actually short for Jerusalem. You got a bunch of Salems in the United States, towns with the name Salem, and Salem is actually short for Jerusalem. Mhm. Yeah, well, it's gonna go right back to the way it was, the way it was intended to be. Mhm. Yeah, and wherever you were born, go and look at what Indian tribes were there. Look at the Indian tribes. I had to do that in my state. I had to see, okay, well, what Indians were here? And come to find out, when I start looking up each one, they were all black tribes. They were all classified as black tribes. Mhm. Mhm. I mean, a lot of things got screwed up, even the animals. There's animals that should be in this land that's not in this land, y'all. They were taken out of the land. Well, those animals are gonna be brought back to the land. So it's gonna go right back to its original state, and I really can't wait to see it that way. I bet you it was beautiful here prior to these folks showing up. I bet you it was beautiful. Mhm. Well, we're still here. We are still here, and we are more than willing to take over the land and make it the paradise that it really should be. These folks, they're not going to do it. They don't have the ability to do it. Right. Right. And he's right. And like I said, I could clearly see it when I was a kid. And I used to even ask, I said, why do they look Asian? Why do so many of them look Asian? Now you know. Mhm. Yeah, you know, but see, they've been using our identity for so long, they really truly believe they are natives, they are indigenous, they are aboriginal, and they're just simply not. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there were cities here when these folks showed up, and that's another thing they don't wanna tell you. There were cities here that were already established. Okay, don't believe that they established cities, they didn't. Many of the cities have were already established. Now they may have came and changed names and all that stuff, but many of these cities were already here. Okay, let me just turn that off here. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are walking around with our heritage and our traditions, and it's really not theirs at all. It's not. It's going to be a lot of shocked people on this earth once everything is restored back to the way it used to be. Is going to be a lot of people in a state of shock because everything they were told were lies, just like everything we were told are lies. Period. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I thank each and every one of you for being here. And of course, when I get another really good story for us, and Quantum Solace, thank you for the super chat. You said, I can trace my lineage back before Columbus ever stepped foot in our lands. My lands are all throughout. Everything's going so fast. Louisiana and Arkansas. Yes. And it's probably well beyond that, quantum solace, because so many of our people got moved around all over the place, and our lives were disrupted, their lives were disrupted. I bet you it's way more than just those two states that your lineage goes back to. It is probably going to end up ultimately when you find out where your relatives were placed in the land is probably going to span over several states that your people were in. You know, right now, up and down the East Coast, I got family from Massachusetts down to Florida on the East Coast. So, being that we were moved around, I know we would have had to span across several states. And I read when they stole everything from the natives here in New Jersey, many of them that are in Oklahoma, those were the original people that were here in New Jersey. They virtually moved them all to Oklahoma at that time. Okay, Liquid J Funk, they're too shy to do anything productive apart from stealing our patents. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let the original inventor do all the work and then you steal the patent. Yeah, there's nothing more lazier than that. So y'all, let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm sure there's still going to be some people among us that are just simply ain't going to believe anything. You know how they are. They're going to believe whatever they were told and they want to stick with it. And that's all right. They have the right to do that. But some of us that are more open into thinking about things, I mean, because what he's saying actually is making sense. It makes more sense than the way we were told the Africa ships going to Africa story. What he's saying is actually making more sense to me. Mhm. So everybody enjoy your day and be on the lookout for my videos that I'll be putting out later on. Shalom, family.